for Easter and Passover. So welcome back. Carol and Gavin are with me. We're also joined by the astronaut and entrepreneur Per Wimmer. Great to see you. And you've got a trip to look forward to.
Absolutely.
When is it happening?
Next year.
Into space.
Into space. I just got the latest update from Mission Control yesterday.
Okay.
Quite exciting. They're making very good progress on the new Delta rocket that they're building out in California at the moment. Engineers need to obviously make sure it's all glued together, and then eventually, once it's finished, they got to do some test flights. Once that's done, I'm going to be strapped into the Delta rocket, and it's my turn to head into space.
It is. I'm starting to get thrilled by it, even though I'm not always interested in other planets, and that's very much my failing. But Per is here because our next debate is NASA's moon mission and whether it's a waste of money. 0207 862 2222. Tell us what you think. Final preparations are underway for the launch of the Artemis II mission. It's the first crewed mission to the moon in 53 years, and this is what one of the astronauts had to say.
This is a test flight. This is the first time we're going to try this. This is the first time we're loading humans on board. And I will tell you, the four of us, we are ready to go. The team is ready to go, and the vehicle is ready to go. But not for 1 second do we have an expectation that we are going. We will go when this vehicle tells us it's ready and when the team is ready to go. So we might go out to the pad, and we might have to try again a few more times, and we are 100% ready for that.
There's an 80% chance the launch will go ahead later today, with liftoff scheduled for 6:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's nearly midnight here in the UK. There's also a 10-day window if conditions don't allow it to proceed as planned. The mission led by NASA marks a major step in returning humans to the moon. Now, I know you're not landing, Per, when you go up in your craft, but do you think this is a good idea to do this?
I think it's a fantastic idea to do this. What space does for humankind is it really pushes innovation to the extreme. If you look back at its sister program, you know, Artemis means the goddess of the moon in Greek, and Apollo was the twin sister.
Indeed.
So if you go back to the Apollo and look what that sort of did in terms of innovation, it really opened up, it created Silicon Valley to a degree. It also created little tools that they had to use out there, like the electric drills, for instance, that the tool makers would use here on Earth today. It created purifiers for water systems. So there's a lot of innovations that came with that.
We'll show the path where Artemis is going to go. And there's two reservations about it. First of all, we've seen the moon, there's nothing there. And secondly, all of this fuel burning up is an enormous amount of money. I hope it's not just going to go around in circles, old. It's going to, yeah, OK, there we go. I was worried they'd taken a wrong turning there. But well, Carol, I don't know how you feel about this. Is this money we should be spending on the health service?
You know, I don't think exploring space can ever be a waste of time. But I think with this planet currently in the mess that it's in, I think maybe it shouldn't be happening right now.
Well, should we? If this was a neighbourhood, we, the human race, would be banned from other planets, wouldn't we? It'd be like an ASBO. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
but the US has already done this 6 times. They've landed on the moon 6 times. And can you remember the second? You know, but we all know Buzz Aldrin and
69. I remember. I was 4, and I remember my dad watching with me.
Do you remember Apollo 12?
That's 72?
Yeah, but do you remember who was on it?
Oh, it was Tom Hanks, wasn't it? No, who was on it?
I don't know, on 12.
Go on.
17 is the latest one, right?
No, it was a guy called Alan Bean and Pete Conrad.
Meaning that they're not that famous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The point is, the first 2 guys who did it became legends and whatever.
Well,
all the people who did it after that did not.
Well, I would take a slight issue with that. In our astronaut community,
yes.
Alan Beam is famous. I've actually met him. Actually went to his atelier afterwards.
You just said it, Pete, in your astronaut community.
Well, astronauts, they get out. You know, they get out. They do pub quizzes and stuff.
Is the reason America's doing this because China is desperate to get to the moon, and it's saying it's going to be there by 2030? Is this not America just saying, hey, this is our patch?
Well, there's a little bit of a space race going on there at the moment, let's be honest.
Look at this, this is so amazing. Is this, Per, you'll know, I want to make sure that we're watching 1969, or is this a later one? What do you think? Oh,
Well, the one we just saw was a 69.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong. Neil and
small
Buzz.
step for a man.
Absolutely. Giant leap for mankind.
Yeah.
There it is. But there's another little catchy phrase I've actually thrown that, because this is actually an Apollo 8 mission we're doing now, as opposed to Apollo 11,
Okay.
where we walked on the moon. This is sort of a Bill Anders moment, who was on Apollo 8, because we're going to do a flyby. We're not going to land on the moon.
This is your mission now.
No,
Or this is the one we're
this is the one,
Right, okay, yeah.
Artemis II.
Yeah.
They're going to do a flyby. They're going to get at the closest point. They'll get to 6,500 kilometers from the moon. That's relatively close.
Why not
What's the
put
point
down
of it?
while you're there? Why not drop in?
Just because it's you got to test the technology first. It's a new Artemis rocket. Don't forget, this is the second Artemis rocket. The first one was without human beings on board. This is the first time you put actual human beings on the Artemis rocket. So let's just test
Where
it.
are you, Gavin? Are you excited?
I'm very excited about this. I think it's a brilliant thing to do, and I think that we need to be doing this to push the frontiers, to explore more about kind of how our technology reflects what we are doing with these types of missions. And I know it sounds like a lot of money on from the headline figure, but
Been there 6 times.
But I think it's the
but
test
we
mission to
can
try
do some
and
drilling and.
the test mission to try and get out there to eventually get to a point where you do go and explore what minerals and what scientific kind of advancements we can get from it, I think are brilliant.
Imagine if they struck oil on the moon, that would be an amazing thing, and then there would immediately be a huge. There'd probably be a war about it, actually, not even joking.
talking.
Wouldn't there?
There's not oil on the moon, we know that.
Okay,
but what
shame.
there is on the moon, actually, is helium-3, which is very rare on the Earth. And so it's actually very valuable if you can drill up this helium-3 and bring
right.
it back to Earth. And the other thing there is water on the South Pole. We know that. And with water, you have the key ingredients of life. So you can actually build a moon base up there, which NASA is planning to do, and launch from there into space.
But it's got no atmosphere, has it? I mean, I'm not suggesting it's like a bad party. I mean, it's got no atmosphere in the sense of it's got.
There should be a lot of atmosphere inside the capsule.
We can get it all down, even if you do build the moon base.
Well, the thing is, with the new, with Elon's new Starship rocket, a Falcon 9 already, it cost you about $6,000 per kilogram to take up into space. With Starship coming, I mean, they keep going up at a time, but eventually he'll get it right. It's going to cost you $100 per kilogram to take stuff up there.
Wow.
So the barriers to entry are going to go down like you've never seen before.
I've learned in life that, generally speaking, I think things won't happen, and they do. So the internet and stuff, is a good example.
AI.
So with AI, I'm certain it's going to change the world, and I now think they're going to find stuff. We're going to end up living on the moon. There's going to be a housing crisis up there. Paul in Staffordshire, are you excited, or do you think no? This is taking money away from the poorest among us.
Well, maybe so, yeah. But it'd be a great achievement for mankind again, wouldn't it? If they did it again, it certainly would. I think it should do it again. I think.
Yeah. What's the point of doing it again when there was nothing the first time?
Well, obviously, if they could achieve it again, it'd be great. It'd be worthwhile, and worth the money. And America's idea as well. Just remember that as well. They put the idea to let them pay for it or whatever.
How close is the moon? I've forgot. Someone said to get into space is closer to London than Glasgow. Someone said. You don't have to go up that far. It's true.
I mean, technically, space is defined by the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers up. So it's actually not that far before you go into space. Then you got low Earth orbit.
It's Birmingham to Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't.
It's not.
Who was that amazing guy who went in a hot air balloon up into space? Felix Baumgartner. And he lost his life subsequently, but he tried a parachute drop from the edge of space. It was an extraordinary thing to do, yeah. But it is still. Would you go deep ocean or space if you were given a choice?
I think space. I think I really would go space.
Less can go wrong.
Yeah, and I think it's the opportunities to inspire for science, technology, engineering, and medicine. I don't know what the M stands for, actually. Is that right? STEM, the STEM careers, yeah. I just feel like that there was a proven jump in people being interested in it in the last expedition, whereas this sort of thing now can inspire a next generation.
I just want to ask Per about the window for the craft, the Artemis. What happens if they don't go today?
Then they'll go tomorrow. It's that kind of thing. I mean, it's simple as that. You miss the London bus and you take the next one.
Okay.
So it's not dramatic. We have 10 days window, but to be honest, the odds are pretty good today. 80% is very good. So there's only a slight risk. Jarek Isaacman, the NASA administrator, he said this morning we're pretty good to go.
And I know we've seen celebrities go up. We've seen William Shatner go up. Then obviously Musk went up. Katy Perry went up. We can see this. I'm not suggesting you're at this level of silliness.
Musk hasn't been up.
Musk hasn't. Oh, he hasn't. Sorry,
he hasn't
Bezos went up, did he or not?
Jeff went up, yeah.
But and then of course there are all those questions about the shape of we mustn't get into that. But do you worry about the danger of a catastrophic event?
It is possible. You can't rule it out. I mean, if you look at Artemis I, the previous mission, they did have some problems with the heat shield. There was some gases that sneaked in underneath, and it did come down a little bit damaged. So one thing you have to watch out for is the heat shield and the condition of it.
That's what happened to Challenger in '86, yeah.
The
tiles came off, yeah.
Columbia.
Yes.
Columbia, remember Columbia?
Had two of them, yeah.
Columbia had some foam that came down and the heat shield broke a bit and disaster. So what NASA is doing this time around is that we're gonna do something we have never done before. The spacecraft is going to come back down at 40,000 kilometers an hour into Earth orbit. We'll never travel that fast into Earth.
Oh, so you zoom back in?
You zoom back in, you go at a steeper decline.
How does that help, then?
And, well, it helps because it makes your time in going through the atmosphere shorter.
That's where it's hot.
Therefore, there's less time to have this gas build up in the heat shield.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a space engineer, but that suggests it might be hotter as well if you go that fast.
About 3,000 degrees centigrade. So it gets quite hot outside. And I'll experience the same thing when I go through. So we're fully aware of it.
So next time we see you, you're going to be on TV in the middle of a space capsule.
Yeah, we can't do direct TV when we go through the atmosphere, but we can do it before and after.
Well, it's so nice to... Isn't it great to have an astronaut in?
It's fantastic. I'm busting to ask the question. So there was the poor astronaut who... it was called Bruce McCandless, he was the guy who floated away into space. How did that happen? We're talking about things going wrong. Because you remember he got cast his rope or something.
Yeah.
What happens to you when that happens?
If you do an EVA, so you step outside the vehicle, you normally have a hook. You step, and there's like a metal bar, so you prevent yourself from going away. It can happen, obviously, if you get unhooked and off you go.
What would happen? I mean,
you die. You die. You run. No, I mean you have little in the spacesuit, so you can try to make it back, but ultimately you only have limited oxygen and cooling equipment in your spacesuit. So
that's a good question, Carol. This poor guy. Now we've got to thank him.
But
he's left with the idea of floating into space.
I just read about it yesterday, and I thought, my God,
I know.
How long would you survive?
It's not going to happen, Per. Don't worry. Thank you so much for joining us. Fascinating. I know it's all we think about. I've got to go to the break because we've got people now getting cross. After the break is the papers and everything else. I know, including Prince Harry's